Hey y'all, I am back with a DIY embellishments video, and in this video I'm going to share with y'all how I used some of my washi tape strips as a way to create an embellishment. And so I thought I would get through a lot more of these sheets, but I have a lot of them, so I didn't use very many strips, but it's a good starting point for other embellishments for the future. So here's my stack of washi tape strips or sheets, and I'm just going to start by looking through my scrap bin just to see if I can find some papers that will be like my starting point. So this will be the base. This was going to be where I put my washi tape. So I'm looking for something subtle, nothing too bold. I want the since washi tape is mostly translucent, I wanted something that isn't going to overshadow that. So just kind of like shuffling through the papers, you can kind of see all the different ones that I have. I've had a lot of these papers for a long time, and I used to have more scraps than this, but at one point I cut down a lot of my scraps so that they would fit in this bin, and then I got rid of the rest of them or gave them to either took them to work so kids could play with them, or I gave them to my daughter. So I found a few sheets of scrap paper or just papers that I thought would work well. I'm also looking through this drawer that I have that has like smaller scrap pieces. And so I found a couple of things that I know that I want to use. So I'm going to start by just tearing off. I'm not going to put too much thought into it, but I'm going to start by tearing off some of the washi from this paper. I think this one's from Freckled Fawn from a while back. And I'm going to put a couple of strips, kind of layering them. I'm not going to pay too much attention to like placement, just because I am going to cut some of these out, and I'm going to use some of my punches as well. So just to kind of have a little base or starting point, I did go ahead and cut the excess paper off of that first embellishment, just because, and I'm not going to leave it like that, but just because it'll be easier to work with whenever I get my punches out. I have this little strip of paper here. It was a white piece, and then I had kind of like a cream strip of washi. That washi tape that I used really isn't, like, it doesn't tear easily. It came in a Studio Calico kit, I think, and it's tape, but it's like more of a sticker, and so it doesn't tear too well. But that's okay. I'm not using it for the tear feature anyway. So I have two of those now, and again, one of the things I've mentioned before, and I'll mention it again, is that I a lot of times create for upcoming projects. So if I am making embellishments, I'm thinking about projects that need embellishments, or I'm thinking about things that I like, pictures that I scrapbook a lot. So if the fall is coming up or back to school is coming up, I'm thinking about colors, and I'm thinking about things that I might be scrapping at that time. So for this particular or for today, for this project, I just decided to kind of go with some multicolored washi, but then I also chose colors that were a little bit more bold, I guess, and more fall, I guess, than spring. So I'm trying to kind of get away from the pastels and use more of the bold colors. So some of these little washi books are super old. I think I've had them probably 6 or 7 years at this point. I am gonna stick mostly to the washi strips, and just because I like the color schemes a little bit better than the ones that were in the book. And then after I'm done kind of, I guess, creating my base shape, then I'll start embellishing the top of it. Or actually, I'll cut some of them into shapes or punch some of them, and then I'll start embellishing. So I have this circle punch. I think it's about a 2-inch punch, if I can remember correctly. And I'm just going to do a little half circle there. I do that a lot just to kind of refrain from doing things like super symmetrical. I like things to be like offset, or I like things that are a little bit more wonky. And so I guess just mainly for my style of scrapbooking. So I am going to cut like a rectangular shape. I'm also going to have a little flag and then a half circle. And then I thought about doing a little border cluster as well. So I've got this scallop punch. I've had a lot of these punches. I do try to link them, but some of them are just super old, and so I may not be able to find them online. I've had these in my stash for a very long time. I've used punches a lot. I know you guys know that by now, but they've been really one of those things that I grab super often in my stash. So I did a little scallop shape there, and then for the last one, I'm going to use my ticket punch or my label punch and punch one shape out. And then for the kind of excess that's hanging off on the left side, at this point, I'm just thinking I may use it as a little square piece. So I have all these little pieces here. And now I'm going to do a little step-by-step process and show you how I build these. So I've got my label drawer, and these are blank labels. I do have one that has more embellishing to it, or like words, but these are going to be mostly blank labels here. And I'm going to, with mostly like every single one, I'm going to add some sort of label. So for several of them, the label is the base, but for actually like two of them. But for the other like three or four, I'm adding a label to like on top of the washi base. So I have the cardstock, I have the cardstock or the pattern paper, the washi, and then I have the label. For the one that I just did though, I have the label underneath because it was larger, and then I placed the little washi square like on top, and then kind of let that be for now. And then same thing with the one on the bottom. I did the label for the bottom, and then I added a little flag shape. So it really depends on the size for me. So if I find something I can use for the base shape, even though I thought I might use something different, then I'll just kind of swap that. And one thing I really loved about this is that the washi really made it look these embellishments look very detailed. And so you can do that with really any of your washi tapes, and they're super easy to use. So I feel like you can get a lot of use and make them look like you put a lot of thought and a lot of time into these. So now I have this little organizer that I've had for a long time. It's a little acrylic bin, and it has 4 little slots in it. And I keep just little extra pieces of like things that I've punched out or things that I've like die cut. And I put the little extra pieces in there just to kind of keep for things like this. And so I'm kind of just shuffling through to see if there's anything I can find. And I have found quite a few things. And I'm not going to put a lot of thought into this. I'm really going to try hard to keep it simple. And so I looked, you can tell that didn't take, this is on, I think, double speed, but still it didn't take me that long just to find what I wanted to do for my like second and third steps. And so I'm just going to adhere all of these down, just the little pieces that I found. So now at this point, I have the washi on top of the pattern or the cardstock. Then I have the label, and then I have the some sort of like little pattern embellishment. And that's either cut ahead of time or something that you could find in your stash. And you could certainly use a sticker if you wanted to. And then the next thing I'm going to do is add something with texture or something with dimension. So I'm either going to use a puffy sticker, or I'm going to use some wood veneer. Or you could use cork and something like this as well. But I really love how this all came together and how it was more of like a step-by-step process rather than me just kind of being all over the place. And so really anybody can create these. If you just kind of look through your stash and you can even make a little kit ahead of time. You can have like a pile of labels, you can have a pile of washi tape, and then some things that maybe coordinate in color as well. And then just some scraps of paper and a couple of things that have some dimension, and then you can kind of call it an embellishment after that. So I really love the way these turned out. I'm going to give you a little bit of a close-up here in just a minute. You'll see I'm using good old Elmer's glue because I do not have any, I can't buy my little glue pen, but I also don't have any mono glue anymore, the mono liquid glue. And so I am just using the Elmer's glue, which worked just fine. So here are the final pieces. I do have a still shot at the end as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this process. Let me know if you did, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye.